Hey everybody, this is me, the End Viking, and this is FlamingOs. FlamingOs is a family game for 2 to 5 people in which each person is going to be trying to collect groups of flamingos that will allow them to capture some shrimp. And if they can capture enough shrimp, they can turn those shrimp cards into scoring cards, and then if they can be the first one to collect 3 of those cards, they're going to win. Interesting side note, something I learned after playing this game after I just hey, I've never really researched flamingos. Flamingos are pink because they eat shrimp. It has nothing to do with, they don't have pink feathers. They're normally white, I guess. But the pink flamingos you see, they eat lots of shrimp. Isn't that weird? I mean, I think it's weird. But anyway, regardless. So as I said, it is a family weight game. That doesn't mean that seasoned gamers are going to dislike it. I definitely have enjoyed playing it with my friends and also with my kids. It definitely is one of those games that when I played it with my children, their glee at beating their father, straight up beating. Not I know a lot of times people play games with their children and they're like, okay, I'll play a little bit easy, I won't try really hard to win, that kind of thing. But no, I mean, my kids have straight up beat me. Usually they gang up on dad, which is kind of cool. I'm watching them do that. But anyway, regardless, let me show you how to play flamingos. It won't take very long. The artwork is fantastic. Check out the cool flamingo there in the front. Artwork is fantastic, and you're going to see it here in just a little bit. So let's show you how to play. Alright, so this is Flamingos. You're going to have these 3 decks of cards. The big 2 decks of cards you're going to be dealing with the most are going to be the Mingos deck and the Shrimp deck. The little O deck, as you see here, that has, how it says Flamingos, and then it says a little O deck right there. These are just your scoring cards. The whole point of the game is you're trying to get 3 of these cards, and the first person to get 3 of the O cards is going to win the game. The way you do that is that you're going to have a hand of Mingos in your Mingo deck, and you're going to be trying to get pairs of Mingos. Those pairs will then allow you, each pair that you are able to discard will allow you to draw a shrimp. Once you have 10 points worth of shrimp, you can trade in those 10 shrimp for 1 of these flamingo cards. And so it's just kind of a race to build up what you have. Alright, so now, as the game begins, I'll just show you, you start with 5 cards. Let me see these 5 Mingos that you get here. And there's lots of different types of cards in here, and I'll go over those here in just a little bit, but let's just see what I got here. So, in this case, what I got is, I got a roller Mingo, and I must say the art in this game is fantastic. I love the different flamingos. I got a space Mingo, I got a pool Mingo, and I got a robo Mingo, and I got another robo Mingo. So if it was my turn, I could take these 2, I could discard them like so, and get rid of them, and then what I could do is I could draw one of these cards, and I would just get a standard shrimp. And this would be 1 point, and I would just put that in front of me like so to show that I got that shrimp. Now, if I don't have any other pairs, my turn is done, and then I'm going to refill my deck with up to 5 cards. If you ever begin a hand and it's your turn and you have no pairs in your hand, you just get to draw another card and you add it to your hand. Which is neat because if you are ever able to play all of the cards in your hand and discard them, you can just draw back up to 5 and your turn can continue. So as long as you can maintain maybe a little bit of luck and maintain the roll, you'll be able to add multiple shrimp to in front of you. Now that's a pretty straightforward game, and it's a pretty simple game as I said, but this is something that my family and I have really enjoyed, basically because that isn't all that goes on. So let me just see what I got here. So I got another Robo Mingo, and I got another Space Mingo. So when my turn rolls around again, I could turn these 2 in. But there's other things you can do. If you ever have 3 of the same kind, and the thing is that you have to spend them, right? You can't just sit there and keep adding cards to your hand or whatever. But if I had a 3rd Space Mingo and if you put 3 cards down, you're able to steal a card from another player. They have to hold up their hand. If you've ever played games when they hold up their hand like this, and then you get to pick which card you want to snag, and then you're going to add that to your hand. Now, however, there are some cool things that go on. First of all, when you trade in for the shrimp, there are some cards in here that are going to change things up a little bit. For one, there is a jumbo shrimp card, and you notice this one is going to be worth 5 points. So if I had this one along with that standard shrimp card, I would have 6 total. There are also some cards that are actually kind of dangerous for you to get, and that would be one of these seagulls. And you notice the seagulls, everybody at the same time, mine, 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 you would lose all of your shrimp. So here you are, you're drawing cards at the shrimp deck, maybe you're sitting at 9 shrimp. This has happened to me, and my kids love it when this happens to me. And I draw, I'm going to get it to win, and then bam, you get a seagull and you lose all your shrimp, and then you got to start all over. And then there is the dreaded spoiled shrimp, and then this guy here, you notice up there in the thing, lose an O. So if you've collected an O and you get that one, you've lost part of your method to get to the top. Now, there are ways, however, for you to be able to defend yourself. That is necessarily one of a Mingo card that you can draw that will be a shark card. You can keep this in your hand, and it says this will block a pelican or a seagull. You might be saying, well, what's a pelican? Well, a pelican, if you have this card, you get to play it, and you get to steal all the shrimp from another player. So, but if you have a shark card in your hand, you can defend that. Now, a lot of times what happens, and these obviously don't need to be paired up. So why would you want a 3 of a kind so you can steal from somebody? Exactly that reason. You know the one person's never going down. They're never losing all of their cards. They're keeping one card in hand. You know they probably got a pelican card waiting to use it. They got a shark card they're waiting to use it. Things like that that you can take them. There's also the dreaded, and this is probably my favorite illustration. I just like his top hat, the dreaded blue crab. And this allows you to steal one of those O's from some other player. And last but not least, probably the coolest flamingo of them all is the Pop Mingo. I like his surfboard, but Pop Mingo, you can play with any other Mingo, and so it's basically a wild card you get to add to it. That being said, also, since there's 7 different kinds of Mingo art in here, if you have 7 of a kind, you're also able to trade in all 7 of those for a shrimp as well. So even if you're like getting jammed, you haven't found any pairs, you can do that too. Now, as I said, this is a very family weight game. This is something that is very straightforward, but this is definitely a game that is going to be sitting at my lake cabin getting ready to be busted out, so I can play this with my kids, with my wife, that we can just have a game that we can kind of like just have some fun cajoling. And like I said, my kids love it when they can really jam Dad and steal all his shrimp, or even steal one of his O cards from him as well. And so, but as I said, once you get the 3 O's, you are going to be declared the winner, and you can, the game doesn't last very long, lasts about 20 minutes or so, maybe, depending upon the number of players, and then you just, if you want to play again, you just shuffle it up, and you're ready to go. And if you hadn't guessed already, if you ever are running low on shrimp, or the Mingo decks, you just reshuffle the cards in the discard pile, add them to the deck, and you're ready to roll. So there you go. Let me talk more about this fantastic game with fantastic art in my final thoughts. All right, so there we go. That is the FlamingOs. So, as I said, the game is not super duper complex, but that does not mean the game isn't fun to play. You know, I did spring this on my game group. I said, hey, we're gonna play a couple rounds of this, and you're gonna tell me what you think. And you know, they all enjoyed it. They thought this is one of those cool things, and there is a little bit of strategy to it. But yeah, I mean, it is one of your more straightforward family weight type games. Now, if you are somebody that has children and you are looking for something to like kind of bring them into your kind of board game world, I know when my daughter was much younger, and my son's 7, so it kind of fits for him too. Like I'd be playing a more complex game. I'd be like getting out some big Euro or something like that, and for example, like Pandemic or something like that, and my daughter would see it, and she's like, oh, I want to play, but you're just like, how do I convey how this game is played without like just basically playing the game for her and having her be involved? And that's fine, and that's a way that you can kind of bring them into the fold. But there is something to be said for having a game like this where you can teach them the rules, you can tell them exactly how to play, and then you can set them up and they're going to just understand it. They're going to understand the rules, they're going to understand the strategy, they're going to understand the process that they're going to have to take to actually play the game on the same level as their parents, as their friends, and they're going to enjoy themselves. And it's been really, really fun watching my daughter kind of start on games like this and grow into bigger games. Like she just recently went to a birthday party where the girls all played Pandemic like multiple times into the night, and while I'm not a big fan of that game, I was really proud of her because she's like, yeah, we played this game, it was really fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, that's awesome that they were able to, like, I'm not even there, I'm not teaching them, and they were able to grasp that and play that game. And my daughter telling me the stories about how she enjoyed it really, really inspired me. So I'm really thankful that I had games like FlamingOs that inspired my daughter at a very young age to be interested in card games and board games, and that interest has grown. My son, this is something that he really, really enjoyed. He's 7 years old, and he took to it like a fish to water, and now he's coming up with his own versions of this game, trying to think of different ways he can make crocodiles, or different ways that he could have a game just like this but with space aliens or things like that. And I really like to see the creative juices flow, and I really like seeing them getting excited about game time with the family. So if you're looking for something like that you're going to be able to enjoy, I strongly suggest you check this out. If you have any questions about the game, by all means ask away. I'll be happy to answer those as well as I possibly can. As always, I'm the Undead Viking. I'm telling you out there to be the best version of you that you possibly can be. You get one trip, make it the best one you possibly can, and just give out as much good karma and good thoughts and good love and good feelings out into the universe. I guarantee you, the more you do that, the more you're going to get in return. Until the next video, I'm the Undead Viking. This is FlamingOs, and I'm telling you, you're awesome.